Welcome to another episode of Victorious Voices. My name is Arturo Soriano. What does Victorious represent? We're individuals with lived experience that have cultural proficiency. We're able to de-escalate violence. We're able to connect with the community. Why? Because we came from that community. Today's quote: a sister is a gift to the heart, the soul, and the mind. Can you introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Michelle Wells. I am the lead mentor with YMCA specific or with Youth Empowerment, specifically YMCA program.
Thank you. And let's do a check-in.
Sure.
And the check-in is going to consist of your name, how you feeling, and how do you turn beauty into brokenness.
My name is Michelle. I feel happy. I'm a little nervous, of course, but I think I'm happy. I'm really excited. Lately, I've been feeling really determined and motivated for what we have going on. When I think of beauty into brokenness, I think that's just a lot of well, for me personally, it's a lot of my life. I think I grew up with a lot of like pain and hurt. And before, I used to always say, like, why me? Why do I always have to go through it? Now I'm like, I'm really proud of everything that I've gone through and like it's made me the person that I am. So I think there is beauty through brokenness. It's just in the moment you don't feel it. It's more after the fact is when you really start to feel confident and really accept the brokenness.
Thank you.
Oh,
And I feel Arturo, I feel ecstatic. And what does beauty into brokenness mean to me? It means individuals that have been broken in different ways, broken through different types of trauma, healing from that, and starting their process to then bring the beauty out of that brokenness.
yeah, I agree.
So, tell me a little bit about Michelle. Who is Michelle? Can I get a little background on who Michelle is?
My name is Shaw. I grew up in Southeast in Encanto. I don't know what else to say.
I just, it's a little bit about your life. Did you have a mama?
Oh, okay. So I grew up in Encano, Southeast San Diego. I did grow up with mom and dad. I grew up with my twin sister. However, I did have two older siblings, which is Arthur as well as Shiloh. My older sister, I didn't grow up with my older siblings until later. Sadly, I did lose my sister to drug abuse, and then, well, I didn't have my brother for many years in my life until recent. I went through a lot of pain, like I had said earlier. I fell into drugs and alcohol at a very young age. It took me a long time to get out of it. And now I love to give back and let the youth know that, like, hey, you have one adult that really likes to be here for you and listen to you, because I know that was one thing that I always struggled with.
Excellent. So we have something in common here. That's my sister. That's why I gave out that beautiful quote. Thank you. Get a pat on the back for that one.
It's baby sister to be true.
A baby sister, and so we have something in common. Like
Yeah.
we have the same mother, different dads, but I love their biological just like my dad, which his name is Eddie Wells.
Yes.
Yes, and so we miss him. Yeah, yeah, he's no longer with us. 2 years. Yeah, yeah. So we miss him, and um, I remember going into Arizona Boys Ranch on a YA alternative when I was a juvenile, and you guys did come visit me,
Hmm.
but the way you came to visit me is because my mother was pregnant.
Yeah.
She was pregnant, and so, and I remember twins. It was the conversation. I'm gonna have twins, and then I re-entered back into the community, and then I ended up doing the case, was charged for attempted murder, and then I went away for 14 years.
Yeah.
So
Muscle.
yeah, we basically grew up together in the system.
Yeah, we did. We went every single Saturday to go visit you. And everywhere. We went to Central, we went to freaking Pelican Bay in Oregon, I remember Calipat. We went all over, we went every Saturday. It was a normal routine. I mean, I remember being so little, and then the night before, my dad would set up the back seat with, like, blankets and pillows, and my dad would literally carry us into the car and be like 4 3 in the morning, depending where we had to drive through, and then we'd start our journey.
And I remember one of the stories from mom was
Oh.
the car that was being driven to get to that.
Yes, El Centro. So we had to go through the mountains. It was a beat up car. I think it was red, and there's like these wells when you go up the hill, and we'd have to literally stop at every single well. And we had like a gang of water bottles and like Gatorade bottles and like orange juice bottles, like a bunch of empty water bottles pretty much. And we'd have to stop at every well, and we'd have to open up the hood, but we'd always be careful so the steam wouldn't hit our face, and we'd always have to fill it up with water. And I remember one time specifically, it was super windy. The car was, like, super beat up, and it literally started, like, lifting up the car one time, and we were, like, panicking, and Rachel and I, we were, like, jumping on the other side trying to get the car to go down, and it was just, like it was always an interesting ride up. Like, it was always interesting because the car was so old, and so going through Ascento, going through those mountains, I mean, especially at that time, it was more like a game to us, I guess you could say. My mom did not think it was a game, but I specifically remember with every well we'd go through, we'd have to fill them up with water and keep the car cool because it kept overheating. It was broken.
Yeah, when you're talking about overheating, you're talking about when I was in Calapat, Sanella,
Yeah,
and I remember on the yards, it used to get up to like 120 degrees, like,
yeah. It
woo,
was no joke.
no joke. It's the desert, and so I remember you guys coming into the visiting room, my mom, and my twin sisters. So this is Michelle, but she has another sister. Her name is Rachel. So they would both come, always dressing identical, and you always seem the one like to have the most hyperactivity, and Rachel was like the one always mean mugging and serious. And so that's the difference between both of you guys' personality.
Yeah.
Now, so what you're saying is that you looked at it more as a game coming up because you were a young kid, right?
Yes. I mean, it was just it was so normal, like, "We're gonna go see him." "Okay, well, don't forget we have to get the water bottles," like, it was a system we knew, but, being so little, we were, like, 7, 8, 9, so, like, at that age, everything's a game.
Yeah.
So, like, it was scary, like, going up there, like, making sure, like, we wouldn't, like, burn ourselves because 'cause we'd have to open up the hood, but in all, like, I had it was fun. It was, like, fun to us because we tried to see, like Rach and I would try to see how many water bottles we could fit up, like, who could fill up the most water bottles and fill it, or, like, we'd take turns depending on the well if we were tired. But it was fun. I mean, I guess it was fun.
So it was more of a norm.
It was completely normal, yeah, it was just like, every Saturday morning, like, we knew what we were doing, so there was no, like, sleepovers on Friday nights, there was no company over on Friday nights, like, we had a system, so we had to go to bed early, and it was like I literally remember my dad even picking us up and laying us down in our car. I mean, my mom used to just make us sleep in our clothes because 'cause we'd get up so early.
Yeah. And so, like, growing up in the visiting rooms, like, when you start getting older, did you even, like, "Have my brother's locked up," or you couldn't comprehend it, or was it more of a norm? Like, what were you thinking? What was going through your mind?
Um, so I it was normal to me. It was like I was going to my brother's house. That's literally what it felt like. So it was normal. I mean, like I said, it was a system. I didn't realize, like I knew you were locked up, but like I didn't realize how bad it was until I think I was like 9 or 10. I can't remember where you were at, but like it was the guards would like come up to us and be like, "Oh, who are you here looking for?" And we would say Arturo Soriano, and then we'd say your the number, J41523.
J415.
Yeah, so, that's just how we did it, yeah. It's a number that I'll never forget either.
Oh,
I don't know.
I didn't even know you knew that number.
Oh, no, of
But
course. I mean, I knew that number by heart,
he's like a Social Security number.
yeah, that's how I feel, like, it's like a birthday.
I didn't even know that.
No, like, we knew it, but it was, one time in particular, there was, like, the guards, and the moment they found out we visited you, they just gave us, like, hell. I mean, there was, like so if you've never been to, prison to go visit somebody, you have to dress a certain way. If they don't like how you dress, they send you back to the trailer, and they have, like, a bunch of clothes. So they were like I mean, that particular day, they sent us, like, 3, 4 different times to go change. I'm like, "Dude, I literally have your clothes." Like, there's no reason why Rachel and I have to keep going back. And then finally one of the guards was like, "I hope he never sees the light of day. We hope he rots in here." And I was just like we started getting upset. My mom was getting emotional. So my sister and I, being a little temperamental that we are, we kind of started going at it. And then that's when we really started to sink in like, wait a second, like is he really as bad as they say they are? And so after that, it was like every time like a cop had like some like smart ass remark or like would make some type of face every time we'd go visit you. And so it wasn't until I got a bit older that I realized like, oh, wait a second, like maybe my brother isn't like he isn't who I think he is. Cause to me, you were always like very caring every time I saw you. You were always excited. So it was different. So when the guards would give us like nasty remarks, it was just like it like took me out of place because I didn't understand. Cause like I said earlier, it was like going to my brother's house.
And I admit I was no saint while I was in prison.
Right.
You know, I was all the things that you could think possible of being involved in politics and gang leadership, and eventually um, being a threat to the general population, putting me in at segs and shoe terms, and
Oh yeah.
you know that was my life. And so I start in the prisons down south, and then I start going to the prisons in up north. And so that now, like, it couldn't be a every Saturday thing, right?
Yeah, it wasn't.
I Yeah, it wasn't like because the distance and everything, and that little car wouldn't make it all the way over there, right?
Barely made it the 2, 3 hours. That's good. Imagine going to Oregon, that'd be a disaster. But I remember that too when we went to Pelican Bay. So when he left for Pelican Bay, we stopped seeing him. It was literally just letters, care packages, and phone calls. But even then, like, writing letters, sometimes it gets hard because you get so busy. And I remember one day in specific, my parents asked, well, what do you guys want for your birthday? And immediately without my twin and I thinking, we're like, we want to go see Arthur. And so I think we was for our 14th birthday that we made the trip, and we literally had to fly out to Crescent City, stay the night at my dad's friend's house, and then from there we made the drive out to where you were at.
And so it was your 14th birthday. You guys are young teenagers, and I probably hadn't seen you in like years.
Yeah, like 4 or 5 years, I think.
And so the I remember getting a visit. It was a surprise visit because I didn't like no one informed me. So they told me, okay, you're gonna go out on a visit, and I was like, what, a visit? Like, and I think I'm a year to the house too. I'm not sure. Like, I'm getting close to the house to paroling.
You were because you came out when we were 15.
Yeah, and so we get to the visiting room, and I see you guys, and I remember just getting emotional.
No, I remember that. It was scary because you were pale. You were extremely pale. And I remember because you had came out and the guards were like almost carrying you up. And I remember the first thing you said was, is I forgot how to walk so far. Because you couldn't, and you said something like your legs have given out or something, or like you weren't used to walking such a distance, and I will never forget that. And it was my sister, me, my mom, and oof, remembering that is it's a little hard because you were really pale, and when you saw us, I mean, we also just broke down crying. I didn't expect you to look so bad, and it really hurt. To see, especially, like, seeing my mom. They actually gave us, like, Saturday and Sunday because my dad somehow convinced them that we had to be there for 2 days, and they only let you 1, and I don't know how my dad did it, but they let us do 2 days, and that was a big a hard pill to swallow, like, seeing you like that.
And
You were
and and
skinny.
I probably lied to you guys like on how the walk and everything, but the reality is that I was like so shameful of the chains.
Oh, yeah, you were like this.
I was chained up, and like then imagine being chained up like this, and then having to grab a phone and then have a conversation with your family that hasn't seen you in years, right? And like you're like this, trying to communicate with your loved ones. And so, whew, shout out to all the families that take the time and the energy to go visit their husbands, their boyfriends, their cousins, their uncles, their dad, their family members, because it takes a lot of effort and time and love to put into that process. And so I remember going back to the cell. I was excited. Like the first visit was emotional. Like I didn't want you guys to go see me because I didn't want how it would affect you guys and see me like that, right? That was my main thing. Well, I was like, you know what? Like, I don't need no visits. We're too far away. But that was my main purpose. But now I had a year to the house, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there. And I want to make this a point. And it's in my recent book, The Resilience Blueprint. on Amazon. Click the link, go get your copy. It's the whole narrative. But I reentered back into the community, but I never did have no resources while I was in there. That's not an excuse. But the evidence based, the cognitive behavioral therapy, the motivational interviewing, personal development, I never did none of that. And so, me paroling back into the community, I went in at 18, I came out at 32. I had the mind of an 18-year-old, and I wanted to catch up on lost time, right? So I had many, many struggles in my process, violations, different charges. Like, how was that up and down seeing your brother just wild out?
It was different because I was so used to seeing you locked up. So it was weird, like, seeing and you, like, disappear for days, and so it was irritating. To be honest, it was just irritating because it's just like, why you wanna go kick it with them, but I don't remember seeing them at the freaking visiting room. We were there. I don't remember them sending you care packages, we did. And it kinda felt like a betrayal in a way, but, like, for me, I never lost hope. Like, I never lost like, I deep down, like, I knew, like, you would get it together, but it was I mean, at that times, it'd be very irritating, frustrating, you'd feel hopeless, helpless, like, you just don't even know what to do. It was frustrating. I mean, we had good times. I'm not gonna sit here and, like, say no, but, we had fun even the times that we hung out, but it was frustrating because you were never home more than a year. It was 6 to 8 months. Bam! If you made it to 8 months, I thought you make it through the year.
And I wouldn't make it to your guys' birthday, right?
Never made it twice. He always got, like, right up before our birthday.
But then, like, the first birthday party, I think it was right here on University Avenue. Like, was it? I hid in the box. Oh shit! I hid in the big old box, right? And then, and then, boom! I come out the box as a surprise, right?
It was, but it was so random because Rachel and I, we walked in, it was just this little big old box in the middle of the church, and we're just like, "What the hell? Like, what is this?" And I think that year we got laptops. We got used laptops. And we had got them, but I remember you, like, sprung out, and I was just like, "Ah, what are you doing here?" It was really weird. It was really awkward, but it was different. It was definitely different, but it was fun. I mean, it was exciting. That was the first birthday we ever had celebrated.
And then I got to a point where I did re-enter back into and so when I was starting to do things different and I actually started working on myself, personal development, taking all these classes mandated by probation, I was finally able to get out the system after 23 years. Then when I started volunteering at the Ralta Park and doing all that, like that was another like now you're over here with these people, this community. Like, what about us too? I don't know your perspective.
What do you mean?
How did that feel? Now me work.
Like, seeing you, like, go
Yeah.
to Toronto Park. It was a trip because it was just like first I know him in prison. And then I know him, like, struggling to get it together, on drugs, like, doing the most, and then it was just like then out of even before childhood, then out of nowhere, like, you and Gabby popped up in the car and then started doing your sobriety, and then you guys went into Toronto, so it was a whole lot in a little bit of time, almost, but it was like a trip, and I was just, like, going along with it, like, "Oh, we're playing football? We're playing basketball?" But I don't think I really understand what you were doing. I just saw that you were finally doing something positive, and you were, like, genuinely happy about it.
Yeah, and that's when my community therapy began, and my healing with the practice and learning and curriculums and really learning about myself, learning how I could connect with people and have a more of a positive impact than a negative impact. And so um, I just want to say I love you
No, I learned too.
because my other family, like, they were like, you know what, we need a timeout on this guy.
Yes, and let's just say this for the record, the last person to go visit him in jail was myself. Everybody had given up. My mom gave up on him, Rachel gave up on him, my dad gave up on him, everybody gave up on him, and I was like, "Nope," I was going, and everybody's like, "I don't know why you're wasting your time," and I'm like, "That's my brother, like, I don't care, I'm going, like, I love my brother, I am going," and I remember when I went and you saw me by myself, you said, "Where's my mom?" And I said, "She's done." she's tired. I said, everybody's tired.
Yeah.
And then you just look at me and we broke down crying. Because I think that was a hard one. But let's just let it be straight. I was the last one there, baby sister.
And you know what? I mean, Gabby couldn't even visit me because we were crying me, so she couldn't visit me. But
You know?
parole officer put a hold on her. I couldn't connect with her. Like she couldn't visit me in prison. But that's the time where like we really were able to communicate us and like write each other and what we wanted. And we wanted that house with the 3 bedrooms with the big backyard and a couple dogs. And guess what? When you start working on yourself and you start seeing the vision and putting it in motion, things happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, even till this day, just because I think we've only had like what, 7 birthdays together, something like that. Like our life, our new life together is
I'm going on 10. over a decade.
ready. I don't even remember.
Over a decade.
I don't know. I feel like you should celebrate me more. But like it's even till this day, like even Rachel and I sometimes will go into like your house and we'll leave and I'm like, dude, isn't it a fucking trip? Like, I'm sorry, my bad. I was like, isn't it a trip? Like, and I was like, I never thought you'd come this far. Like I knew you'd change, but like even till this day, Rachel and I will leave like your house and we'll be like, isn't it a trip? And then we're like, yeah, dude, like I can't believe like you're here. Like I like even like I mean we even said this, I think, a few days before Kata's birthday. We were even talking about like it's a trip till this day that you're like I could not even imagine going to see you in prison anymore. Like it's a whole different norm now.
It's a whole different norm and like want to dismantle that generational pipeline with our families and my kids and the little ones. And to this day, they don't even know. They still don't know. They hear this book and the resilience blueprint, and I take them to Alcatraz, right? To go, and then they're all fascinated about Alcatraz, and they meet somebody that did time on that. They get a signed book, and I'm telling that guy from Alcatraz because he's about like 90 years old, still living, right? He goes like, I was in Pelican Bay, like he goes, man, you had it way worse than me, right? And so there's gonna be a time and place where we're gonna let them know.
Well, remember that one time, Joshua, you had said something about like you had been locked up or whatever, and Joshua looked at me, not daddy, those are for bad men. I started cracking up. I was like, dude, not to disrespecting your right, dad. It's like,
Yes, for a red light, and he believed it.
yeah, he did. That's what you said, but he like in his mind, daddy could never be this man, which is a good thing. I mean, that's what we want. We don't want them. I mean, the way Kata and Joshua, man, these kids don't know nothing about that. And that's the good thing. That's the goal. Like they shouldn't have to know about that lifestyle. You're doing a good job.
Well, we're gonna do a checkout,
Okay.
and the checkout's gonna consist of your name, how you feeling, and what is a good deed that you're gonna do within the next month. One good deed.
Those are okay. You go first.
My name's Arturo. I feel blessed, honored, motivated, and good deed, good deeds is I want to build some momentum with the resilience blueprint and get, raise the money, however, to like get the copies of the books so I could take them into East Mesa Detention Facility and adult institutions so that they have the book so that they could read and feel inspired. And maybe that sparks something in there into where they could start their process on reentering back into the community and being productive members.
That's good. My name is Michelle. I feel happy. I think just like you, I feel really blessed right now, honored. I feel thoughtful, going down memory lane pretty much. I think one good deed is well, I give a lot of my time to the youth. I think one thing that I want to well for me, I feel like it's a good deed. I really want to see what other safety protocols we can do to continue to keep our kids safe because it's been a lot more dangerous lately than normal, and so, right now I am working with the school to see what we can do to prevent our kids from continuing getting attacked.
And so before we cut out, like I want to give you major kudos for being lead mentor with Hector,
Yes.
the kids that we're working with, the data, the attendance, the behavioral, they're able to express themselves emotionally, think about like how to react from anger to violence, from resentment to drugs. Like, and so that process, I've seen it flourish into something so amazing. And what that is the individuals of lived experience. And you don't necessarily have to have the record like me.
Yeah.
No, you're connected because guess what? You went through the process of going through jails and experience, and so you have lived experience as well.
Yeah.
And getting all these different perspectives to do everything in our power to dismantle the school to prison pipeline and build healthy communities. Thank you.